Tropical cyclone wind signal number 2 is still up in 2 areas in Luzon as Typhoon Aghon maintains its strength while it moves over the Philippine Sea. According to Pag-asa's 11 a.m. bulletin on Monday, May 27, signal number 2 remains over the southeast portion of Isabela and the northern portion of Aurora. Meanwhile, signal number 1 is up in 6 areas in Luzon. Pag-asa says the southwesterly wind flow enhanced by this typhoon will bring moderate to heavy rains over western Visayas and portions of Mimaropa in the next 2 days. Aghon was last spotted 100 kilometers east-southeast of Casiguran, Aurora, carrying maximum sustained winds of 140 kilometers per hour and gustiness of up to 170 kilometers per hour. The State Weather Bureau says Aghon will continue to intensify over the next 2 days as it moves northeastward over the Philippine Sea. It may exit the Philippine area of responsibility on Wednesday afternoon or evening as a typhoon. The National Disaster Risk Reduction Management Council says Typhoon Aghon has affected at least 19,000 people, including 7 who were reported injured. In a situational report on Monday, May 27, the NDRRRMC explains that the latest total count of affected people comprises over 8,000 families in 158 barangays in Luzon and Visayas. The government body says most of the affected individuals were in the Bicol region, Mimaropa, and eastern Visayas. It adds that the 7 people who were reported injured due to Aghon were from the Bicol region. At least 5,000 people were tagged as displaced. Meanwhile, the Lucena city government declared a state of calamity on Monday due to widespread destruction caused by Aghon. This early, Senate President Cheese Escudero is rejecting the idea of running for a higher post in government. It was just a week ago when Escudero ascended to the highest post in the Senate, replacing Senator Juan Miguel Zubiri. In a television interview, Escudero says his friends were already insinuating that he could run for a higher post, but he expresses that the Senate presidency is enough, even recalling his bid for vice president in the past. To recall, Escudero ran but lost in the 2016 vice presidential race. According to Escudero, he has no ambitions of running for a higher position and only wants to focus on the Senate as an institution. He makes the remarks when asked how he plans to run the Senate under his new leadership. While he could not describe his style of leadership, Escudero says he would not be a Mr. Win-Win Senate leader or would not consider himself primus inter pares, a Latin phrase which means first among equal. If at all, Escudero says he would like to be a consensus builder. Escudero also promises not to let his personal beliefs affect any measure in Congress. The new Senate chief has been vocal against divorce and the proposed mandatory reserve officers training corps. And although he is against the ROTC bill, Escudero says he would not put it in the back burner simply because he is against it and he is the Senate president. When he was the chairman of the Senate Committee on Higher Education, Escudero says he referred the ROTC bill to a subcommittee chaired by Senator Bato de la Rosa. He recalls telling de la Rosa he was against the bill but emphasizes that his personal position will not affect any measure. More than 670 people are believed to have died after a massive landslide obliterated a village in Papua New Guinea. UN Migration Agency official Sirhan Aktoprak says the revised death toll was based on calculations by officials that more than 150 homes had been buried by Friday's landslide. The previous estimate had been 60 homes. Local officials on Friday, May 24, had initially put the death toll at 100 or more. Only 5 bodies and a leg of a 6th victim had been recovered by Sunday, May 26, when an excavator donated by a local builder became the first piece of mechanical earth-moving equipment to join the recovery effort. Relief crews were moving survivors to safer ground on Sunday as taunts of unstable earth and tribal warfare threatened the rescue effort. Around 250 additional houses have been condemned since the landslide because of still shifting ground, leaving an estimated 1,250 people homeless. The once bustling remote hillside village in Enga province was almost wiped out when a chunk of Mount Mongalo collapsed in the early hours of Friday morning, burying scores of homes and the people sleeping inside them. Locals say the landslide may have been triggered by heavy rains that have saturated the region in recent weeks.